Okay. At the end of a semester or school year, you will want to archive your current classes. By archiving them, they will no longer appear on your homepage, but can be accessed in your Google Drive. If there is a slight chance you would want to look at post, former students' work, it would make the most sense to go ahead and archive that class. But if you feel there's no need for any of those things, it might make better sense for you to just delete the class altogether, and we'll look at both of those options in just a second. An archive class will also allow students to access or view any work or post that they may have shared onto that Google class. Here are some steps that you need to follow in order to archive a current class from your homepage. When you go in and you see all of the folders that are active for your current classes, in the top right hand corner are the three dots that will give you a drop down menu. It gives you the options of move, edit, or archive. If you go ahead and select archive, it pops up for confirmation that states you and your students won't be able to make changes. You can view this class and archive classes in the classroom menu, yet all class files will remain in Google Drive. Go ahead and select archive. And if you wanted to double check and you went back to look in your drive, notice under classroom, I can still pull up that Google Class Playground where it has all of the files that I would have entered onto that folder. So that's just one way you can double check to make sure that your materials are still sitting there in your Google Drive. Now, say after you've archived that class, you may decide that there are parts of that, maybe there's former work, or maybe you have a student that wanted to access something that was put into that Google class. You would have to unarchive that class. Because remember, in order for students to do any work on or make any changes on any of those files, you would have to unarchive that class. In order to do that, you again go up to your main menu, and notice at the bottom it has the option of archive classes. When you select that, if you had other classes that you would have archived, they would pop up on the screen. And again, you go up onto those three main dots in the top right-hand corner. Notice it gives you the option of restore or delete. And I talked about that a little bit ago. Restore would be the best option if you felt that there were files that you would want to use or former students' work, or if you wanted to give the students the option to go back to use any of those files or add anything to them. Restore would be your best option. But if you feel that that class would be something that you wouldn't use, maybe you are leaving the school to transfer to a different position and there would just be materials that were no longer necessary for you, you would go ahead and then just simply click delete. But if I wanted to keep this and move it back to my main screen of my Google Classroom, I would click restore. And again, it says you and your students will be able to interact with this class again. The class will be shown in classes and in the classroom menu. Click restore. Notice it says you no longer have any archive classes, so I go back to my main menu. And on my main screen, I notice that I have all classes folders that are back that were current before. Again, this would be how you would either archive a class at the end of a semester or a school year, and if you wanted to go on with that permanent option of deleting if there was no need for anything to be accessed at the end of a class.